Good morning, all. Today's topic is tonometry. So, intraocular pressure, it is the pressure inside the eye which is required to maintain the integrity of the globe. Okay, the normal mean intraocular pressure is 15.5 plus or minus 2.57 millimeters of the mercury. Usually, it ranges from the 10 to 21 millimeters of the mercury. Okay, intraocular pressure, it depends on the two factors: the rate of the aqueous formation and the rate of the aqueous drainage. Okay. All clinical tonometers measure intraocular pressure by relating the deformation of the globe to the force responsible for the deformation. Tonometry refers to the indirect estimation of the intraocular pressure by measuring the resistance of the eye to indentation by an applied force. Okay, manometry. What is manometry? It is the direct method of the measuring the intraocular pressure. Okay. Tonometry. It may be direct or indirect. Example of direct tonometry is manometry. The indirect tonometry, it is divided into the two types. First is contact and second is non-contact. Contact tonometry divided into the two types, that is static and dynamic. Now static contact tonometry divides into two types depending upon the shape of the deformation of the cornea. The types are indentation or applanation tonometry. Coming to the digital tonometry, it is the indirect method of the measurement of the intraocular pressure. The response of the eyeball to the pressure applied by pulp of finger is noted. Okay. In this method, we should rest our both hands on the patient's forehead and with the help of the index finger of the one hand, indentation is done and the fluctuation is noted with the help of the other hand index finger. If the fluctuation is absent, that means there is increase in the intraocular pressure, and if we feel like the partially filled water bag, it means that there is decrease in the intraocular pressure, that is hypotonia. It is a subjective method and it is not that much accurate. The indirect tonometry is broadly divided into the two types according to the shape of the deformation. First is indentation or the impression tonometers. In this, the shape of deformation is like a truncated cone. Second is applanation tonometer, where there is flattening of the cornea is noted. The first is indentation tonometer. The principle is a force, that is plunger, will indent soft eye further than into a hard eye. Okay, most commonly used indentation tonometer is Schwartz tonometer. A Schwartz tonometer, it is used to measure the amount of the deformation in response to standard weights applied to the cornea. The shape of corneal deformation is a truncated cone-like. Parts of the Schwartz tonometer. Handle, it is used to hold the instrument in the vertical position on the cornea. Footplate, it rests on the cornea. Plunger, it moves freely within a footplate. And bent lever, it has two arms, short arm and the long arm. Short arm rests on the upper end of the plunger and the long arm which acts as a pointer. The degree to which the plunger indents the cornea is indicated the movement of this needle. Then the weights. 5.5 gram weight is permanently fixed to the plunger, which can be increased to the 7.5 or the 10 gram. Procedure. The patient should be anesthetized with 2% or the 4% lignocaine. 0.5% proparagon can also be used. With the patient in supine position, looking up at a fixation target, while examiners separate the leads. and you lower the tonometer plate to rest on the cornea so that the plunger is free to move. The 5.5 gram weight is initially used. If the scale reading is 3 or less, additional weight is added. IOP measurement is repeated until 3 consecutive readings, and the conversion table is used to derive the intraocular pressure in millimeters of the mercury from scale reading and the plunger height. Plunger weight. Advantages of shots. These are: it is easy to use, it is simple technique, having low price, it is portable, there is no need for the slit lamp or power supply, and it is widely used. Disadvantages are: it can give false readings when used in eyes with abnormal scleral rigidity. It can also cause the trauma to the cornea. Coming to the applanation tonometry. It measures the force necessary to flatten a small standard edge of the cornea. Shape of the corneal deformation is simple flattening. Applanation tonometer, it is divided into the two types depending upon the variable force or variable area. The examples of the variable force applanation tonometer, these are Goldmann applanation tonometer, Perkins applanation tonometer, McKemar tonometer. Examples of the variable area applanation tonometer, it is Maklakow tonometer. Now coming to the Goldmann applanation tonometer. It is based on the modified Imbert-Fix law. The Imbert-Fix principle is the pressure of a body of a fluid encapsulated within a sphere is directly proportional to the force required to applanate an area of the sphere. That is, pressure is equal to the force divided by the area. The image shows the parts of the Goldmann applanation tonometer. It has biprism, feather arm, revolving knob and measuring drum. Coming to the procedure. First, topical anesthetic drops should be put. Then the corneal tear film is stained with the help of the fluorescent strip. Then the cornea and the biprisms are illuminated with the help of the cobalt blue light. Then the biprism is advanced until it just touches the apex of the center part of the cornea. So at this point, the two fluorescent semicircles are viewed through the biprism. Then applanation force in this cornea is adjusted until inner edges of the two semicircles just touch to each other. It is shown in the given image. Then the intraocular pressure is determined by multiplying dial reading with 10. Goldmann applanation tonometer, it is highly accurate and it does not require supine position. While disadvantages are: it is non-portable, it is costly, and reading errors is seen if there is scar on the cornea. Now coming to the Perkins tonometer. Perkins tonometer, the principle is same as that of the Goldmann applanation tonometer. The same biprism is used in this Perkins tonometer also. The difference is the light source is powered by the battery. So the readings are the consistent and compared quite well with the Goldmann applanation tonometer. Advantages of Perkins tonometer, these are: it is portable and it does not require electricity. While disadvantages are: it requires supine position and it is quite costly. Now coming to the pneumatic tonometer. The principle is same as that of the applanation tonometer. It is also a indirect method of the measurement of the intraocular pressure. In this, the cornea is ablated by the touching apex by celestial diaphragm covering the sensing nozzle. It is connected to the central chamber containing the pressurized air. It has pressure to electronic transducer which converts the air pressure to a recording on a paper strip from which the IOP is read. It gives significantly higher IOP readings compared to the Goldmann applanation tonometer. Now coming to the non-contact tonometry, it is developed by the Goldmann. There are two types, air pop tonometer and pulsar tonometer. Both uses a jet of air to applanate the entire corneal surface. This is a very good for the mass screening as there is no danger of the cross infection and the local anesthetic usage. This type of tonometry is usually done in our OPD. Now coming to the tonopen. It is also an indirect method of the measurement of the intraocular pressure. Principle, it is same as that of the applanation tonometer. This is handheld Mackay Mark type of the tonometer, also known as the computerized pocket tonometer. Basically, it converts intraocular pressure into the electric waves, which further analyzed by a microprocessor. Thank you.